Okay, I want to share something real quick because God is truly so good, and he really is the God of suddenly. You just have to give him a chance. Stay at his feet and trust that he is working in your favor. I was reflecting this past week, and I don't know why it just randomly hit me that God literally changed my life in 1 year to the day. I was unemployed. He sat me down for an entire year. He was pruning me, pulling all of these things out of me, truly changing my life and renewing my mind. And I had no job. I was down to my last month's worth of rent in my account, down to the penny. Like, you cannot make this up. I looked at my account and I said, I have nothing left after this month. And I remember getting a job opportunity, and I was a little hesitant because I was talking about how you could not pay me enough money to go back to that place. That was a job that I had prayed myself out of. I was working there while I was trying to build a career, and I was praying and praying and praying, although I don't know who I was praying to because I had no relationship with God, but that's neither here nor there. But I was trying to get myself out of there, and I elevated. And God said, oh, I can't pay you enough to come back to this place because it's either this place or Skid Row. So what are we going to do? And he was truly teaching me humility. But still, in the process of teaching me humility, he was so gracious and so good because he brought me back into a place of leadership in that same place. I didn't go back into the same position that I was in. It was an elevated position, and he was testing me and teaching me how to steward something that I didn't necessarily want, but I could recognize was still a blessing. And being at that job was the most testing and trying time because that was the place that I was introduced to witchcraft. That was the place where I really lost Jesus. I lost God. I lost the whole plot. I lost everything. My life flipped, and it's almost like he was giving me a redo. And while I was there, I was tested every single day. But I did not lose faith because I just knew in my spirit. I said, okay, God, I know this is a stepping stone. I'm going to pray. I'm going to steward this job. I'm going to show up to the best of my abilities. And as I was growing in that job, I found myself talking about Jesus more. I found myself praying with people. I found myself pouring into people, giving people insight, just sharing my testimony, because so many people were like, what are you doing here? What are you doing back here? And I just was, God's doing something in my life. And I'm just a vessel, and I'm being patient, and I'm learning. And there is something in this season that God needs me to learn and understand. And when I tell you, I got to a point where I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. Like, I've hit my breaking point. I literally cannot be here anymore. Please illuminate my eyes. What do you need me to see? What do you need me to learn in this place? Because I'm losing my mind. I was just praying and fasting, and to the day, the exact day that I hit my 1 year mark back at that job, I get a call. Hey, you have 20 minutes to decide, like, do you want this other job? Like, yada, 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 whatever the details. I'm like, whoa. And I go into panic, and I ended up accepting that other position and that other job. And it hit me as I was clocking out on my last day. I said, oh my gosh, it has been a year to the day that God blessed me with this opportunity, because it truly was a blessing. I had nothing left to my name. He then promoted me out of this. Better finances, more stability, and now I'm at a place where you can just feel the difference in the energy. And it brings me back to Romans 5:3-4. I wrote it down. Glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope. And when I think about that, in the moment, those are just words. And in the moment, those are things that we are telling ourselves so we can hopefully get on board and hopefully believe it. But that hindsight, looking at this now, there is so much power in the word know. Glory in our sufferings, because we know. We know that is certainty. That is head to toe certainty that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope. That year changed me. My character developed and strengthened so much through me persevering through that suffering. It was hard. I cried almost every single day. I was stressed out. Your girl had to go on leave. I was going through so much warfare. The enemy was really trying to get me. Witchcraft was presented to me daily. You could feel the demonic energy. You could feel just everything that was going on, especially when you were spiritually in tune. It was hard. But the strength that I have coming out of that, the strength that unknowingly prepared me for where I am at now. Mind you, where I'm at now, it is nothing like that, but I know the strength that I have within me. And it has given me truly so much hope for what's to come, because I was able to get through that with the strength of the Lord. God is a God of suddenly. Just give him a chance. There is purpose in our pain. Your pain will never be in vain if you steward that season properly. Stay at God's feet. Ask him to open your eyes. Like walking into that opportunity the first time I got it, I had hit a point where I was so defeated and I was like, God, I have been unemployed for over a year. What are you doing in my life? Like, I am so frustrated. I literally cannot make this up. I remember walking into the gym telling him, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to be a midnight ballerina. I'm going to have to do, all the content. And like in my right mind, I knew that was never going to happen. But in my emotional, human, stressed out, I'm burnt out mind, I was like, God, you're really going to push me to have to sell something? Like, what is going on? And literally that moment when I said, God, you're going to have to do this because I've tried everything. You have to take the wheel, because if you leave it up to me, I'm going to be a midnight ballerina. And I know we don't want that. 20 minutes later, hey, we have an opportunity now. I'm not saying test the Lord in that sense, but it was the act of surrendering in that moment and saying, God, if I do this in my own strength, I'm going to crumble. So please do this. Please, please, please do this. And he did it. He did it. He showed up. There was perseverance in that suffering. And it has created so much character and strength within me. And I am so grateful. And just 1 year is not a long time, y'all. When you think about it, 1 year for your life to completely change, to have nothing left to your name, to be elevated. I'm in a place of purposeful power. There are people relying on me, depending on me. I get to show up and pour into a team of 20 plus people. When a year ago I had nothing left to my name. Give God a chance.